Hi everybody, this is to help you with your distributive property foldable. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to look how to use the distributive property in order to simplify these expressions here. So I'm going to take a look at whatever's on the outside of the parentheses. I will circle whatever is on the outside of the parentheses. Now remember, I have to distribute it or multiply that outside term by every single term inside the parentheses. So if I look at A and I multiply that by B, my answer would be AB. Now I'm going to take a look at A and I'm going to multiply it or distribute it to the C. Well, A times C is AC. And a positive times a positive is a positive. So that remains positive. Now let's take a look at this one with subtraction. Once again, I circle the letter or the number in your case on the outside of the parentheses. I'm going to multiply it by each term inside the parentheses. A times B is AB. A times C is AC. And notice that on the outside I have a positive times a negative C, so that becomes a negative AC. So remember, you're going to distribute first and then you combine like terms. Well, let's talk about combining like terms. On this next page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just two problems, and then I want you to finish doing the rest of the problems for examples and then check them on the answer key. So let's take a look here at number 8. I'm going to start there. I have a negative 2k plus 5 times the value of 2k minus 3. Well, once again, I have to distribute first. So I circle the number in front of the parentheses. I always include the sign that is right in front of the number. So I have a positive 5, and I'm going to multiply it by the first term inside the parentheses, which is a 2k. Well, a positive times a positive is a positive, and 5 times 2k is 10k. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down with the positive sign in front. Now I take that positive and I multiply it by the next term, which is a negative 3. I know what you're saying, but that's subtraction. Well, subtraction and negatives are the same thing. So a positive times a negative is a negative, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now notice I have a negative 2k out here. I didn't do anything with that number, or that term I should say, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it down. Now if you notice, I have k's. Oh, some of you who had us last year will remember this. And I have no's. And once again, if I'm going to combine like terms, I'm going to put together any of the terms that have k's and any of the terms that have no's, and no's just means no variable. Those are my constants. So under my k's, I have a negative 2k and I have a positive 10k. Under my no's, I just have a negative 15. Remember to keep the sign with the numbers. Now I just combine my like terms. Negative 2k plus 10k, I have more positives than negatives, and I have 8 more positives than negatives, so it's an 8k. And I bring down my negative 15 because I don't have any other constants to put together. That is my simplified form for that expression. I'm going to do one more with you, and then you're going to go ahead and take over and do the rest. I'm going to come down here to number 5, and I want you to do the same thing. So look down here at number 5. Now remember, when I have a negative sign in front of the parentheses, I can go ahead and just put a 1 in there. So I'm going to take that negative 1, and I'm going to once again distribute it or multiply it by each term inside the parentheses. Well, a negative times a positive is a negative. So that's a negative 3y squared. And I'm writing it over here because I really don't have room. Now I go ahead and multiply a negative times a negative, and I get a positive. And a negative 1 times a negative 7y is a positive 7y. And then finally, a negative times a positive is a negative. And that would be 1 times 2 is 2. So that is my answer simplified. None of those are like terms, so I can't put them together. So now you go ahead and take over, and good luck.